I want to leave this country with a different frame of mind, a different image in my head.
I've heard people talk about Ethiopia in the past, and everything I've heard about Ethiopia is that it's very different from the rest of Africa. And I'm eager to see for myself why that is.
Every step of this world trip has taken us further away from home, to places we never expected to see.
2 years ago, I would never have understood how much this journey would change me.
This is why we travel. This is the reason that we're out here.
Barely arrived in Ethiopia, and we've already traveled an hour north of the capital, Addis Ababa, to Lilibela. We decided that we would start in the north of the country simply because there's kind of this golden triangle of its incredibly rich history.
Growing up as a little kid, my first image of Africa was the images of the famine that happened here in the 80s. There's more to this country than just that.
The reason for coming here is to shatter the preconception of Ethiopia. Embarrassingly enough, we know very little about this country. That's the big reason to come up here and start in the north where all the history is, because you've got to know its past before you can know the present and future. Nothing of what we're seeing is what we expected. Obviously, this and the surroundings, in this lush, green, mountainous country. There are obviously still a lot of problems here. It's still a developing country, but the days of what we saw on TV when Ethiopia was in its communist era, those days are over.
Ethiopia's a country within the continent of Africa that not too many people actually go to.
A lot of its history, almost 2,000 years of history, is all up in the north, very accessible. The history goes well beyond even stuff that we're seeing here in Lilibela, which is already 900 years old. History here goes back to the dawn of man. Walls, you look straight up. This whole church was carved out of one solid piece of rock.
Did you carve this? Work hard at it?
There's 11 of these churches in total. This one, the Church of St. George, is probably the most impressive though, especially because it's still left open. UNESCO, in an effort to kind of preserve these churches from erosion and weather damage, has covered over a lot of them. St. George got the honor of this beautiful church because King Lilibela, who was creating all of these churches at the time, apparently was visited by the patron, St. George. And he was a bit ticked off that no church yet had been named after him, so... trying to be taught the American alphabet, or at least that's what this little classroom is. All committed to memory?
Now we're fluent. Tell me something. Come on, challenge. Your teacher, Mr. Lukács. Bathroom breaks will be once in an hour. You have 2 bathroom breaks per semester. Watch. Boot. Jeans. Camera. Andre. Hand. Stop. Pinky. Scott. Justin. Professor Justin.
Teacher,
Yes.
what dynasty were these churches made in?
That was 8th century.
That feels like a mistake, teacher.
Class dismissed.
I think they absorbed about as much of that as we did the American alphabet.
I try to teach them a couple of things outside the box.
Try to control this class now for the next hour. It's going to be a disaster because they're just watching us. They're not even watching the teacher. About an hour and a half drive away from Lilibela is a place called Yemrahana Christos. It's a beautiful old church, but it's quite a ways out on pretty rough roads. Not a lot of people get to it.
We're a bit of a snag here. This area there's a lot of water going through here, and we're actually in Ethiopia during the wet season.
This van's not too shabby. They bring all these vans in from Japan.
I don't know. Not the best suspension, but it still works. It's a little bit of a rough ride.
It's not an off-road vehicle.
No. A lot of people actually go to this church and they'll come all the way from Jordan in the hope of being healed. And if not, to die in a very holy place. It's almost like a pilgrimage. We knew the roads were pretty rough, and we heard this pop, and we found out the oil filter popped. And that's what our driver's telling us. Did you over here? Not make it.
We did make it. We didn't. We didn't realize that the old blue bus there was critically wounded.
Kind of ironic is it was almost a pilgrimage for the bus itself. We're doing a little bit of a hike here. It's only about 15 minutes, but at the top is Yemrahana Christos Church, one of the most holy places of Christianity.
This is it. This is the church. Well, beyond the wall that was built only a few years ago, but at least this wall was built for the right reasons to protect the relic inside, the actual original church. So as soon as we go beyond this wall, everything will be original. We can go? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
We still haven't learned. Now, when they say shoes off, does that mean socks too? I always do socks because I'm assuming, but
I think it's just a matter of preference. After this kind of hiking around and that long on the plane, it's probably better for the Holy Spirit to just experience our feet with socks on. We'll hold true to tradition. This doesn't make any sense at all. This looks like something from a movie set. The way the light's coming in and lighting inside this cave, and just the look of it, like it honestly looks like something from like an American Western film. It's not like I had the luxury of having a look at pictures of this stuff before I arrived, so this is all obviously just a slap in the face. A good one. I never expected anything like this. This is an architecture I just didn't expect to A, be from this era, and B, be found in this sort of region of the earth.
what we've been seeing in the small amount of time we've been here is everything's made out of stone and rock. This is actually made of wood. Scott's got the rhythm. I'm just the guy that does this.
Sounds like a subwoofer in this cave. It's incredible.
It's good for emphasizing your words.
Makes that drum sound 10 times more powerful.
That's what I'm talking about. Giving you a history lesson. You're gonna learn stuff today.
Burial ground, so it's like they aren't buried, they're just sort of left here. Tons and tons of human bodies. So these people would have come here looking for a divine miracle to happen, and that became the final resting place.
I imagine being in this holy spot made it very comforting in the last few days.
So it's not an eerie place, it's more of a peaceful place.
There's actually a baby right here, the closest one to me right now.
I don't mean any disrespect at all, but
You just said I don't. That was pretty simple.
I don't mean any disrespect by it, but being here in this ridiculously old church and seeing all of these human bodies, some of them almost mummified, it feels like I'm in like a movie or something. Back home, human remains aren't just left out. It's just something you don't get somewhere else. Outside, it's just a shock to see that type of architecture. Inside, to see the amount of detail, the amount of preservation that it's in. I can't believe that for a place that's pushing 1,000 years old, this could be 200 years old. I've seen buildings back home that are in worse condition that are like 40 years old.
Rumor has it that they actually brought wood from Jerusalem to build this.
It's just the last thing I expected to see on my first day in Ethiopia.
The last 3 years, it's been like kind of a personal quest for me to figure out what I believe and what's going to happen to me after I pass away. We've gone to a lot of temples, churches, holy places. I'm not really too religious, but I do find comfort that there are places like this in the world. It makes it easier to believe in something. It doesn't matter if you believe this or you believe that. If you're uncertain of your fate, just keep looking. I think it's out there.
We're flying from Lilabella through a small town called Gondar on our way up to Axum. Ultimately, in Axum, we're hoping to see one of the most important religious artifacts known to man.
When you roll into the city of Gondar, it's impossible to ignore this incredible complex that was built by the royalty here in 1600s. I sure as hell didn't expect to see something like this in Ethiopia. Obviously there's a lot of influence from the Middle East here, there's a lot of European influence from all over different parts of Europe. More or less, this is the only country that has never been colonized by any other country. And so because of that, I think Ethiopia stays very unique to the rest of Africa.
This is awesome though. I want one.
This looks like it was uprooted from the British Isles and dropped here.
Maybe that's what actually happened. They actually shipped it over. Come on, why not, eh? I've always wanted a castle. Not that I'm being too greedy or asking for too much. Just walking around here, you know, I'd have some crazy robe on. You over there, do something funny. And Scott, say something smart. Yes, sir. And Andre, film something really cool.
The hills around here are lush and green. These are fertile land. That's part of the big reason why there was a bit of a kingdom here in the first place. This was a crossroads with major trade routes. To the south of here, a lot of gold deposits and things like that. There was a lot of reason for people to be coming through this area.
And to think that I said, Scott, say something smart, and you did it. And Andre filmed it.
This would be a perfect kingdom.
Kingdom is worth it.
Hey, no,
Every wish is your.
I need someone doing something stupid.
It's a good reason why they call this place the Camelot of Africa. This area that they call it the Royal Enclosure, you can walk around in, and the ruins are in remarkable shape. There's a lot of different influences that kind of came through Ethiopia over the years. It kind of becomes maybe the oldest cultural mosaic you can find in the world. It feels like
I think this is the first thing that kind of makes sense out here. We in Africa in a castle. This is a little line.
they must have kept a number of them. At least, well, there's at least 3 pens.
I keep mines. We keep all the 7 or 8. Easy. Crew.
A pride.
Pride.
Flock, a gaggle of lions.
Well, whatever it is.
It's a school. School.
Educated lions.
Mm-hmm.
We might even have a little bench. A little water thing.
What else could you ask for? Aside from maybe freedom.
True. That's thinking outside the box. Or outside the cage. I have mine. They kind of sit like this. They always put the paws kind of just over here.
They drink. That's how I drink.
Right now, this is all just being absorbed, and my image of Ethiopia is going to be exactly the experience that we have here.
You're gonna have this idea of what everybody's told you it's gonna be like. If you don't go to these places, you don't understand what it's all about.
You know, forget everything you know about Ethiopia. It's like done. It's pretty complex, at least what we're seeing so far. It's been influenced by a lot.
They have lightning here. They have lightning and thunder here. Who thought that? I thought it was desert. Surprised every moment.
We're leaving Gondar behind. We're going to head north from here. The end goal is Axum.
You guys have a four-wheel drive vehicle to get through the highland, and right now it's kind of the rainy season, so rain plus dirt equals mud, so this is supposed to be the truck for us, but you actually notice the tires are like completely bald. How bad are the roads we're going?
Bad roads.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
These tires gonna work? They look pretty... They're not gonna work?
Yeah.
Well, there goes the paved road, and here comes the gravel. It didn't take us long. That was a minute out of town. Driving almost anywhere in this country, there's a real mix of odd landscapes and different types of people.
So many things that you see are little hints towards what this place may really be like and how people really live.
It's kind of like a window into their life. It's been a pretty bumpy ride all the way up. Hello? Hello. What is this park called? Simeon? Semaine? Semaine? That's Semaine? I think it's the main park. Whatever. We've been told 4 different ways how to pronounce it. The editors will put a little thing in. You know, we have just arrived at Semaine Park, so.
The temperature is cold, and much like the view, much like everything else, this is not what I expected of Africa, and I did not pack accordingly.
This is an eco lodge where we're going to be staying the night, and hopefully they have a lot of blankets.
We're such world travelers.
Live and learn. Parts of Africa can be cold.
One for the books, eh? Freezing in Africa. Every time we stopped at a place, it looked like something we've seen earlier in a year or 2 years ago. These places that we've traveled to all seem to be here. Places that look like Vietnam, places that look like Jordan, places that look like Angkor Wat. And the thing is that not all these countries are right beside each other. They're all scattered throughout the whole world. Now you come to Ethiopia and it seems like all these places are on one spot.
We made it through the Simeon Mountains. We've arrived in Axum, and even though it's not a Sunday, given the Julian calendar that Orthodox Christian Ethiopians observe, this is the 29th day of the month, even though for us it's the 5th day of the month. They observe 30 days for every single month, making this the 29th day 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago for us. A little bit confusing, but for them, they know what it is. It's the 29th day. That's a holy day. It's a day of God.
What's your name?
My name's Sanai.
You speak really, really good English.
I don't need language.
So this is my passport. We're not doing nothing wrong, are we?
It's crazy. Don't like tourists.
They don't like tourists?
Yes.
You're just sitting here talking.
The crazy person, he's speaking with a tourist and he can't speak English.
So he gets upset because he
Yeah.
can't speak, and you can. Today is a day of prayer,
It's holiday in the church, Madhani Adam.
so everybody here is kind of dressed in white.
Yes.
You don't have anything like that?
I don't have.
What do you want to be when you get older?
After university, I want to be a doctor for eye because many people in Ethiopia don't have eye, so I will treat don't have eyes percent. You understand?
Yeah. A lot of people in Ethiopia have problems with their eyes. That stems back from a very simple thing of a lack of vitamin A, and that causes blindness at a very young age. So you'll see a lot of people here that are blind. It's very, very nice of you.
I love so much for my country.
Probably one of the most important things that we're going to see at our time here in Axum is St. Mary's of Zion. Within the compound is a chapel which supposedly holds the Ark of the Covenant. It's probably one of the most famous items of the Bible.
The Ark of the Covenant holds the tablets in which God gave Moses.
Anyone who doesn't believe it's here believes that it's still lost somewhere. People come here to pray for miracles to be healed from all kinds of ailments or pain and suffering. And apparently many people have had miracles happen here. So whether that's because the Ark is in there or not, whether it's mind over matter, whatever it is, there's something special about coming here for a lot of people.
This is as far as we're allowed to go. We're not even allowed to get any closer.
I don't know if it's in there or not. We're not going to find it because we're not allowed to look.
It does hold a lot of power.
You know, I've watched Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I know, I was waiting for that comment.
I have no interest at all in trying to look at it, you know?
That's how I did with the Nazis. And India was like, don't look. And he did. He survived. Nazis in our hand?
There's only one guardian who's allowed inside, and no one else is. We're here with one of the senior members of the Church of St. Mary's of Zion. Did you ask him how long the Ark has been on the site?
Oh, 3,550 years.
What power does the Ark hold?
When the Israelis want to do something like a war, they should have to go with this Ark and show this miracle.
If we did see it, what would happen?
Nobody is there to see.
Has he noticed any signs from God?
In 1948, his eyewitness, he has seen a light that was lighting for 4 hours inside the church. It was a light given by God. other small miracles that I cannot count this. We pray, and if He promise, please God, do this thing. I'm sure that we can be happy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The ideal behind a lot of religions is to have faith, and I think if you believe it's here and if it gives you the kind of power that you need to better your life or to better someone else's life, then who's to say it's not in there? I wish there could be more arcs in a lot more places to do good like that.
In the country, in the rural areas, you really notice that these people are a lot better off than I thought. Their faith has kept them strong despite the hardships they've endured in the past. It's great to see.
We're hiking up to a place called Debradamo. It's one of the oldest still remaining churches in all of the country. At over 1,000 years old, it's probably one of the last still remaining churches that is still in use anywhere in the world. There's over 80 monks at the top, if you can get there. If you're a girl, don't bother coming. You gotta be a man to do this, and I don't mean that in a sexist kind of way. Literally, they do not allow women to come to the top.
It's like kind of the sandstone you're kind of climbing at this point, and that's where it gets tricky. But the challenge is once you get almost to the very top, there's about 45 feet that's straight up rock. So you don't just have to trouble. The reason why no females are allowed, because the queen at the time was trying to destroy all the churches, so the monks fled to these mountains where they would be left alone. Kids make it look easy though, look at that, eh? What do you think? It doesn't look that intimidating. You know, I'm looking at it. Looking up, it doesn't look that bad, right? Looking down, it's always a little bit scarier.
You can see now why it stood the test of time. It was the only way to actually see this church.
Well, who's gonna go first? Paper, rock, scissors to go first?
Do you want to go first, or do you want
I don't know. Well, let fate decide. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
You got
So
it.
I'll go first. Oh. Okay, I'm just going first. But who's going first between me and you? 1, 2, 3, shoot. So you get to choose.
I guess I'll try first. I'll go second. You can go third.
I'll go first. Okay, just give me a sec, guys. Who's gonna catch me a fly ball? How is it?
It's tougher than you think. Oh man, it's nerve-wracking. I'm gonna take a little break right where you are. Oh man, oh, that's got the hard part. Out of nervousness more than I think anything else. There's no safety net. This is just the way it always was, and the struggle that you have to take to get to such a holy place.
How is it?
That's one of the scariest things I've done in a long time.
Words are really helping.
I know it's not words of encouragement, but they're words of honesty.
I was pretty scared the whole time doing it. If I fall, I'm gonna land on my head or get badly hurt, and there's no hospital anywhere in sight. And this is actually scary. Every time I've done anything else, I've always had a harness and a bungee jump and all that, but this time I don't. Look over your shoulder again. No, not looking over.
try.
That's honestly probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. Ever. I don't know how it will translate. Probably not at all.
What got scary was that last little bit, because my arms, my forearms are just throbbing. And I'm grabbing on the rope as hard as I possibly can. And I can feel my arms and my hands getting weaker and weaker.
You gotta go out and
Oh
around.
my god, like it's the very, very top, so I'm at the highest point. That's where you don't want to fall, right?
Yeah. Don't you wish there was like a water slide on the other side to get down?
Oh man, I don't want to think about going down yet. Let's go see the monks.
You get to the top and it's not just a church, which we thought it was. It's a full monastery, still functioning. It just feels very old in here. And you look at the wood here, it's so worn. All the feet that have come over this, it's like this wood has just been shellacked.
You see any of this? It's like snake.
The snakes up here play a big role in why they built this place. The first person to actually come up here was praying for solace and praying for safety from God. And the heavens opened and presented this huge python. He was able to, rise up the python to the top of this little mountain, kind of like us.
We should take a second look. Maybe it was a snake.
This is somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 years old that people have been coming up here for Orthodox Christianity, for the same purpose, the same religion, which would have represented one of the very first places of Christian worship in the country. We're now standing in a place where they've been worshiping the exact same way, in the exact same place for more than 1,000 years now. These are original paintings. And when this monastery was built, 600 AD, it's not that often that you get to witness evidence of Christianity that old. And here you really get a feel for it because it's still active. It's still come here and pray. The history of Ethiopia was absolutely just non-existent to me only a few days ago. And now it's really coming to light. You're witnessing one of the earliest evidences of Christianity in Ethiopia. In fact, in all of Africa, which makes it lie very soon after the dawn of Christianity in the first place. I had no idea it was going to be this big. And all the buildings look like we've seriously been transported back in time. Like, these are the buildings I would expect to see in the Bible, the way the Bible describes, like, a town. The fact that it's remained exactly the same, for the exact same reasons, the exact same religion, that's what makes it cool. We were very much welcome, as long as we held true to the same traditions. There's no staircase to get us up here easier. We have to take the same harrowing path up the rope that the monks did for 1,500 years to get here. Since a python brought them to the top. That's what really helps connect me to this place as opposed to some of the other places that we've gone. Never underestimate what history can teach you about the present and about the future and about cultures and people and faith. There's a lot we can learn about where we came from to understand who we are and where we're going. We're on the south side of the rock right now, well away from where the monastery is, about 8 feet down from the actual lip of the rock. From here, it just drops straight down. And there's a couple of caves here that have been chiseled out by hermits, people who just wanted nothing to do with society. Obviously, this has no correlation with the monastery, with Orthodox Christianity, or any religion for that matter. And they would live their entire lives in these caves. They would only emerge to collect some food, try to stay out of the sight of other humans, and obviously, they've died in there too. But, I mean, it wasn't exactly done against their will. It was their decision to do it.
Then we get some rain. I'm a little bit nervous about making it back down now because rain. It's a little bit slick.
It's going to be a bit of a challenge. Maybe we can hide out somewhere for a little bit. Not in here.
One of the monks have invited us over to have a drink with them.
And good timing now that it's raining. Thank you. It's nice enough that we've got a roof over our heads now.
Thank you.
But we're also getting a hot drink as well, almost like a tea. It's almost like a beer taste to it, doesn't it? It almost tastes fermented.
It's got lots of little bits in there. I really don't know what it's made from, but it's brown. Brown and water.
Maybe if you drink all of that, you'll become enlightened and you'll be able to understand it. Maybe there's magic in it.
Do you make this drink? You make it? Yeah, I think he's pretty proud of this drink. Makes it himself. The rain. It's nice to have a roof over our head. Thank you. Beautiful view out here. Very beautiful view. Since the only thing we really know how to properly communicate is so, which is basically hi. So we're saying hi, and then we said hi as kind of thank you. And I think he's just sort of laughing along because he doesn't know what to say to us because he can't say.
Maybe you gotta look up Sabah now.
We keep hearing Sabah, but not still quite sure what it means. The climb?
Yes.
Up here? You must be very strong man. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get down. No get down. We'll be okay? It's okay.
We really gotta find out what he's saying because he just put everybody to stitches right now.
We're gonna have to pray our way out of this one. I'm gonna sleep here tonight.
Never move in with him.
Salam? Salam, hi.
When I climbed, I almost.
Right now, it's raining, and the rope is slippery.
I think we're being trapped here. It's like, oh, the rope, yeah. It's gone. Well, we pulled the rope up at 6 o'clock, so. Same part. Sure, we could sleep here if we wanted to, but we should probably be on our way, unless we want to be a permanent fixture at this monastery.
Oh yeah, this part. Oh, that would hurt a lot.
I'm actually thinking about using this harness to go down because my boots are slippery and wet. It just looks like a piece of old rawhide. Use the slack. Hey, slack, yeah. Being lost in translation, you still pick up things without being too preachy or without stepping on anybody's toes. I think the overall message is clear. We're all in this together, and I'm only as strong as the person beside me. We all breathe the same air, we all drink the same water. I think that's something that some people just don't realize, and it shouldn't be that way. It doesn't look any easier the second time around.
Okay, I trust you. Actually feel a lot better with him on this piece of leather, go figure. It's been a great trip, and we're only a sliver into it. To see a place like Ethiopia that is a peaceful mix of all of these eras and historical influences and religious influences is a real breath of fresh air. Unfair images that we had are now shattered, and I have a much better understanding. That was a lot easier coming down, actually. That safety rope just gave me the confidence I needed to get safely. And I heard you calling it harness. This little dried, weathered piece of leather. Not one piece, but like a whole bunch sewn together.
Well, it's like a racing harness, right? Racing harness and horses are made out of it. So, technically it's a harness.
And horses usually lower themselves from cliff sides based on this. So we're saying.
There you go. Sometimes it's nice to push a little past that limit and say, well, you know what? Let's play in the danger zone for a little bit.
It's still funny that we're talking about this, like, pushing past the danger zone on like a 45-foot wall with